When you picture a carrot, it is always orange, but for thousands of years, they never were. The familiar color was engineered by Dutch growers in the 1600s at the height of a political revolution as a tribute to William of Orange. Our food today is shaped by centuries-old acts of defiance, not nature. So why did orange come to dominate, eclipsing every other color in fields and on our plates? The real story starts long before the twist you expect. Long before the world settled on orange, carrots came in a spectrum of colors. The earliest records point to Persia around 900 BCE, where people first began to cultivate carrots with deep purple roots. These ancient varieties owed their color to anthocyanins, the same pigments found in blueberries. As centuries passed, carrots spread along trade routes, moving through the Middle East and North Africa. By the 10th century, they had become a staple across the Islamic world, appearing in shades of purple, white, and yellow. No trace of orange roots appears in any text or artwork from this era. When carrots made their way into Europe by the 14th century, they arrived as purple and yellow varieties. Market stalls in medieval cities offered a mix of these colors, and Renaissance artists captured their likeness in detailed, still-life paintings. In these works, carrots cluster in baskets and spill across tables, but none are orange. Instead, the roots are streaked with violet or pale yellow, reflecting the diversity that once filled European gardens. This multicolored palette defined carrots for more than 1,000 years. Purple roots remained dominant, while yellow and white types filled out the harvest. Even as the Renaissance flourished and scientific curiosity reshaped agriculture, the orange carrot was nowhere to be found. The familiar color that fills modern fields and supermarket shelves simply did not exist, leaving a gap in the story that would only be filled centuries later. In the spring of 1568, banners the color of ripe citrus began to appear above Dutch city walls. As the 80 Years' War erupted across the Low Countries, orange became more than a pigment. It became defiance, stitched into every flag and cloak. The House of Orange-Nassau, led by William of Orange, rallied provinces against Spanish rule. William's supporters filled streets with orange ribbons and pennants, transforming the color into a signal of unity and hope. Painters captured his likeness draped in orange sashes, while civic processions wound through Amsterdam and Delft, awash in the same bold hue. The Dutch Revolt was as much a battle of symbols as of armies. Orange stood for independence, a visual shorthand for the dream of a free republic. Merchants and artisans pinned orange cockades to their hats. Market squares on feast days shimmered with orange bunting. Even the smallest gesture, a sprig of orange marigold or a painted shield, became a quiet act of resistance. William of Orange was assassinated in 1584, but the color outlasted him, woven into the fabric of daily life. By the time the Dutch Republic declared victory in 1648, orange had become inseparable from national pride. In a country where symbolism could be as potent as gunpowder, the stage was set for a new kind of tribute, one that would take root not in politics, but in the soil itself. In the early 1600s, Dutch growers in Amsterdam and the surrounding provinces began a quiet experiment in the fields. Their goal was to refine the carrot into something more dependable, roots that would grow straight, store well, and taste sweeter. The process hinged on selective breeding, a careful pairing of plants over many seasons. Yellow carrots, already common in Dutch gardens, held the secret. Their roots contained xanthophylls, a pigment responsible for the golden hue. Occasionally, a rare carrot would show a deeper orange tint thanks to an unusually high level of beta-carotene, a pigment that not only colored the root but would later be recognized as a vital nutrient. Growers collected seeds from these rare orange-tinted roots and crossbred them with other promising plants. Each harvest they chose only the carrots with the richest color and best shape, replanting their seeds year after year. Over a decade, this methodical selection shifted the population. Between 1610 and 1620, the first stable orange carrots appeared in Dutch fields. The new color came from a genetic boost in beta-carotene, a pigment that would eventually define the modern carrot. The transformation was not accidental or random. It was the result of human hands guiding nature, using simple but effective methods to fix a trait that had never dominated before. The orange carrot became proof that people could shape the biology of everyday crops, changing not just what grew in the ground, but what filled the markets and kitchens of Europe. By the middle of the 17th century, Dutch growers had transformed the local carrot market. Two varieties stood out above the rest: Long Orange and Early Scarlet Horn. These names began to appear in seed lists and agricultural records, signaling a new era for Dutch agriculture. The Long Orange carrot, with its straight, deep roots and uniform color, quickly became a favorite among farmers and merchants alike. The Early Scarlet Horn, shorter and sweeter, found its place in kitchen gardens and city markets, prized for its quick growth and reliable harvest. Dutch still life paintings from this period offer silent testimony to this change. What once were baskets filled with purple and yellow roots now showed a single, striking hue: orange. Artists like Peter Claes and Abraham van Buren painted tables heaped with these new carrots, their color echoing the national pride that filled the Republic. By 1650, orange varieties had become the standard in Dutch markets, outcompeting older types not just for their color, but for their taste, storage, and yield. Agricultural historian O. Banga's research confirms that these Dutch cultivars formed the backbone of what would become the world's dominant carrot. The orange carrot was no longer just a novelty, it was an emblem of Dutch ingenuity, ready to cross borders and change the fields of Europe. Dutch orange carrots traveled far beyond their homeland. By 1700, ships loaded with seeds and roots left Amsterdam for England, France, and Germany. British farmers began growing orange carrots in the 1720s, drawn by their reliable yields and sweet flavor. Within a generation, orange roots became the new standard across Western Europe, pushing older purple and yellow varieties to the edges of fields and memory. As colonial trade expanded, orange carrots reached the Americas, Asia, and Africa, carried in the holds of merchant vessels and tucked into settlers' gardens. By 1750, the orange carrot had become the dominant variety from London to Lisbon, from Cape Town to Boston. What began as a Dutch agricultural experiment now defined the world's idea of a carrot. Unbeknownst to the growers who started it all, these roots contained a hidden benefit. Each orange carrot packed 10 to 20 milligrams of beta-carotene per 100 grams, a nutrient the human body transforms into essential vitamin A. The growers had no knowledge of vitamins, yet their politically motivated project produced a lasting public health impact. Modern genetic research has traced nearly every orange carrot grown today back to a handful of Dutch varieties. Studies at Wageningen University confirm that over 99% of the world's orange carrots share a genetic signature rooted in the 17th century Netherlands, with cultivars like Long Orange and Early Scarlet Horn acting as the foundation. This legacy is visible not just in fields, but in the DNA of the carrots themselves. Yet when experts comb through archives for evidence of a royal decree or patriotic order, the record falls silent. No guild minutes, civic proclamations, or family diaries reveal a deliberate campaign to breed orange roots as a tribute to the House of Orange. John Stolarczyk, curator of the World Carrot Museum, says there is no documentary evidence that the Dutch invented orange carrots to honor their royal family. Instead, the orange carrot's rise appears to be a mixture of practical breeding and later mythology. In 2002, Dutch researchers revived purple carrots for specialty markets, reminding us that the story is still evolving. The myth endures, but the genetic proof points to an origin shaped by hands in the soil, not by royal command. Every supermarket carrot still carries the imprint of Dutch ambition, proof that politics can shape nature itself. As we engineer crops today, the line between culture and biology blurs further. The next revolution won't just color our food, it could redefine what's possible on our plates. What will we choose?